Welcome back to the Team to Beat Miami Heat podcast, your one-stop shop for daily Miami Heat content. My name is Amir. For today's episode, I want to talk about the Phoenix Suns and their potential interest in acquiring Jimmy Butler. So last week, there was a report that came out basically saying that Jimmy would be willing to go to another destination. He mentioned a few others in the past, and then the Phoenix Suns were a team that Jimmy Butler said that he would be interested in, according to NBA insiders and sources. Shams reported that, basically saying that Bernie Lee, Jimmy's agent, said Jimmy would be willing to go to the Suns. And Bernie Lee basically said, I haven't been saying anything about where my client would want to go. And he's not shopping, or they're not looking to be a target for the trade market. So basically, the Suns were the next team that was mentioned. Jimmy Butler then changed his hair to an orange color, wore some orange shoes. He's being the ultimate troll, changing his hair color for all of the rumor teams that would be a possible destination for Jimmy Butler. But a new report came out. I was on Twitter. Evan Sittery said that the Phoenix Suns are showing real interest in potentially acquiring Jimmy Butler. And that is according to NBA insider Brian Windhorst of ESPN. And Brian Windhorst shared how the Phoenix front office feels about the actual idea of trading for Jimmy Butler. And he said on a podcast, and by the way, I know the Suns have interest in Jimmy Butler. Windhorst said on the Hoop Collective podcast, this is not a controversial statement. It's not some sort of secrecy. Jimmy would like $100 million, and I think the Suns might give it to him. So that's interesting because there's only 3 players on the Suns roster that they can trade for Jimmy Butler. Because they're a second apron team, they're not allowed to aggregate any of their contracts to add up to Jimmy Butler's 46 point whatever $2 million salary that he has. So you have to trade either Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, or Bradley Beal. And so Bradley Beal is the only option because the Phoenix Suns are not going to trade Devin Booker. He's their youngest and best player, technically. Kevin Durant is still very elite. He's having a pretty good season. But again, you're not going to give up Kevin Durant. Bradley Beal is the odd man out. He is the third wheel in this equation. And if you replace Jimmy Butler with Beal on the Phoenix Suns, that's going to make the Suns a lot more dangerous versus the Miami Heat. If you trade Bradley Beal to the Miami Heat, I don't think Miami Heat fans, including myself, would want that deal. And I'm not even worried about the contract right now. I'm just thinking from a basketball perspective. Bradley Beal's, I think, 31 now, almost 32. He's dealt with a bunch of injuries, and it seems like he's far from that player when he was with the Washington Wizards, winning those scoring titles at age 25, 26. That was 7 years ago when he was averaging 30 points. And, he misses games every single season, and I think he's already missed 10 games. He's played 15 out of 25 so far. So has Kevin Durant. He's also been hurt. He's played 15 out of the 25. Devin Booker's played all 25 for the Suns. So Bradley Beal could be better. I mean, he is the third option. He's not getting as many shots as his teammates right now. If you look at his averages, he's playing 33.5 minutes per game. Solid season so far, 17.8 points. He is averaging 4.2 rebounds, 3.3 assists, 1.1 steals. He is shooting almost 14 field goal attempts at 49%. He's shooting 36% from 3. Kevin Durant, on the other hand, he's getting almost 18 shots. Booker, if you round up, is getting 19 shots. They're both averaging 25 points per game, but they're also shooting better from the field. Well, Booker not from twos, but anyway, he's the third wheel. He's not going to make this Miami Heat team better. He might get more shots and more opportunity if he replaces Jimmy Butler, but we already have Tyler Hero. So, why would we detract from Tyler Hero's growth and leap? I don't think that would make sense. We didn't want Bradley Beal last year when he wanted to join the Miami Heat, which he has a no trade clause. So he has to be willing to come to the Miami Heat now or any team because he can't get traded unless he signs off on that. And why would the Miami Heat, though, want him right now? Because we could have got him for whatever he was Suns for. I forgot the deal. Someone let me know in the comments, but I remember it wasn't a great package. They didn't have to give up a ton of firsts or any really good players to acquire Bradley Beal on the Wizards. So why would the Miami Heat do this. It makes absolutely no sense to trade for Bradley Beal. I would not want the Miami Heat to trade for Bradley Beal. He's not going to move the needle, and his contract. So I haven't even mentioned that. Well, I did allude to it, but another downfall of Bradley Beal is his contract. He is going to be owed 113 million over the next 2 seasons. He's 31 years old, so he's only going to miss more and more games. I mean, he literally has already missed 10 games, double-digit games this season. Jimmy's missed only 5, I believe. So he's missed more games already than Jimmy Butler. And he's 4 years younger than Jimmy Butler. So that's not a good sign. And if we look at his history, he has played last year 53 games, the year before that 50, 40, 60, 57. The 2 years before he did score those 30-point per game averages, he did play 82 back-to-back when he was 24 and 25. So he hasn't played in 82 games since 7 years. He hasn't played in more than 60 total in 4 or 5 years now at this point. So again, super injury prone. I don't think it makes sense for the Miami Heat again. So with the Heat right now in control of where they want to trade Jimmy Butler, if they're willing to trade Jimmy Butler, I just don't see them trading him to the Suns. Like, it wouldn't make sense. The Warriors have a better package. If you can include Kuminga and maybe Dennis Schroeder, who they just acquired, and a couple draft picks, that makes more sense. If you can work with the Rockets, possibly getting, I don't think Jalen Green would make sense, obviously, putting him next to Tyler Hero, but like a Jalen Green, a Cam, what's his last name? Oh my God, I can't think of his last name. We passed up on him. Cam Whitmore. We can get those two, maybe a Steven Adams, I guess, to make the contract work. And then they have 5 first-round picks. So you can get like 3 first-round picks, some young assets, and some filler. Or even if they have an expiring contract, you could throw that in there. That's going to be better than Bradley Beal, who is injury-prone, looks kind of washed, and has a horrendous contract, 53 and 57 million left in the next 2 years. So I don't think it makes sense. It doesn't. Who cares if the Suns are interested? Like, why would the Miami Heat front office be interested? This trade idea makes no sense. So anyway, let me know what you guys think. Do you think it's even feasible for the Miami Heat to consider an offer for Beal? I think it's crazy.